then I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefit. Then I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits.
Everybody's gonna see, watch, crime's gonna shoot up now because the entitlement with free food is become a generational thing.
Wait, so are you telling me I can't use this government-funded magic card for a $12 footlong with triple meat and extra cookies and a soda?
How? Hold on, bro. How?
So nobody was going to tell me that there's a nationwide pause on food stamps? I went to go get a sub because I'm like, hey, they hit today. Oh, sorry, decline. I'm calling the number. They said I got the money. Oh, it's decline. I went to another store. I see this lady. She's using her food stamps. Decline. I'm like, oh, so it's not just me. Pulled up on TikTok saying there's a nationwide pause. Why wouldn't they put it on the app? I checked the app. They didn't tell people that there was a pause. They didn't say anything.
Gone. Candy, gone. Hey, it declined today.
Got him! Got him!
With food stamps already.
Look, I mean, it's definitely a change. You know, at one point, EBT wasn't even good for hot food. You get what I'm saying? At some point, they made it a thing where you can go and get hot sandwiches. Like, you had to go get deli meat and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So, for you to get a hot meal and a soda, they're probably going to restrict that.
Being taken away, a Walmart already got fucking raided. And this is not going to be the first. I don't know what the government was thinking by taking away the EBT food stamps, especially right before Thanksgiving, right before the holidays.
Oh, here we go again.
And if they think the American people are going to be okay with it, you think the American people are going to go starving? Yeah, you got it all the way fucked up. Expect way more riots at the grocery stores, at Walmart, at Target, wherever EBT is accepted at, yeah. Because apparently the only place that is still getting EBT is New York City and California. But what about the rest of the thousands of millions of people who literally depend on EBT for food? And I heard Aldi is doing a Thanksgiving feeding of 10 people for only $40 freaking. And I don't know how true it is, but you know what? If it is, I'm so motherfucking glad. Mind you, Aldi is not eating.
Damn, bro. Can you just stop saying the F word, bro? Please, bro. Just at some point, it just gets disgusting.
American brand. It's a European brand. They don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, yeah. Our own government don't give up. If people have no food during Christmas, have no food during Thanksgiving. Like, they know exactly what they are doing. They want people to cause commotion, to cause riot, so they can bring in the National Guard, the military, to minimize thieves and all this shit. But these are just people who are hungry. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, this shit is not gonna end in a good way. If y'all are gonna sit here and think that people of this century is gonna sit home and starve while there's mad grocery stores around them, yeah, you got it all the way fucked up. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They want people to start commotion. They want people to start violence. So they have an excuse to be like, okay, this is the reason why we're going to send the military. This is the reason why we're gonna do this, that, and the fucking third. Like that.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders and brethren, fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you, few sisters, sincere ones. Shalom to the elect. Yeah, this is long overdue. I've been meaning to do this video for quite a few weeks. Never got around to it. But the title of the video probably would be somewhere, I don't know. Eve, you're not needed anymore. So-called black woman, you're not needed, right? He's done his job. He's used you to do your job, and that's to separate the family, right? I mean, you were the so-called nurturers, so you raised men, right? Then they put you to work, and then you wasn't able to raise your children, right? Then you got the entitlements, and then you got the belief that you're a queen, and everybody owes you. And now you see the example. And this woman is still proud. This woman with all the makeup and the dolled up lips and all that, she's still proud. You know what I'm saying? You can see the pride in her face. She doesn't see how horrible things can get. And this is why Christianity is so destructive, because they don't read the history. They only tell you all you got to do is believe in Jesus. So everything else doesn't matter. Like Median and going into 70 AD, Syrian, there's certain empires and famines and things that happened to the children of Israel, right? The fear. I bet you if this woman got 3 days of the taste of famine, 3 days, her whole mindset will change quick, right? We're not talking about a serious famine. Now, if this thing does bail out eventually, it's more debt. It's not looking good for the future. You got to know that. And this woman was kind of on point, saying the order ab chaos, order out of chaos. She's on point. They are trying to create, a situation so they can come with a solution. And that's obviously the chip, right? That's what's coming down. But I also want to go into, it ain't just Eve that's going to suffer. There's a whole numerous amount of people, even some of the small hats or wives, which that's what it was set up for, right? Maybe they got some backdoor EBT type of program that's going to hook them up. But see, they still got backing. They got husbands. Eves, you ain't got anybody. And you wait till them child support checks get cut off. You're going to be in serious trouble, right? You're going to have a man. That's what it is, right? Let's go to Revelation 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he has but a short time, right? He knows the time. For number one, right, Esau, talking about the top elites, they understand what it is. They know we're the children of Israel. They know our Lord is coming back to save us. They see the signs, right? They see us out on the hedges teaching. So they're putting out campaigns to try to stop much of us as possible because they're carnal. But they don't understand it's all about an elect anyway. So you see all these things trickling down and taking place, and you see the downfall of a system, right? No longer is this fake money, or let me say this fake debt, so to speak, is going to keep chiming, right? It's going to eventually crash, right? It's going to eventually crash because they the ones that keep adding this debt on. And then when it adds up, so to speak, then they have an excuse to say we need to clear up the debt. Just like the voting. You know, you can have a majority vote, but then guess who's going to win? Whoever the senators will put you, I forgot what they call that, but you have the electoral college, right? They have a big play in putting you in office. So, and you people can't see it. Generations of EBT and food stamps, right? Coming out of taxpayers' dollars, trying to make America great. Well, they're not going to keep up because you got a whole bunch of foreigners coming in and they're getting food stamps. But don't you think they know this? Let me see here. I want to go to parable of Lazarus, right? Because this woman was talking about she ate meatball subs and they got a soda with food stamps. I had stamps years back. I remember back in it was a long time ago. You had to buy cold stuff. You wasn't allowed to get hot stuff. But then later on, the Moabites, they started accepting it, but they would sell it to you cold, but then they would add an extra tax on it and heat it up where the government didn't know. Anyway, there was a certain rich man, I'm going to go through as much as I can remember. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. Now the IUIC say this is a rich, so-called rich black man, which this is the elites. These are the top elites, right? The red childs or red shields, right? And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which represents us, which was laid at the gate, full of sores, right? For the hell that we're enduring. You know, first fired, last hired, you know, forced to a degree to get supplementary income or food supplementary because the disproportion of money. Then you decide to take the women off and build the families through the mothers and give them all the benefits, which runs the fathers out of the way. And what Eve will find out is they'll wake up one day and say, surely, as Jeremiah 16 say, our fathers have inherited lies. You know what I'm saying? They're going to wake up one day and say, damn, they used me to destroy my nation? Yeah, that's why you're not needed anymore. You've done a good job. Anyway, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs, which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked the sores. So this is why these small hat, cheap suitors, as I call them, with them soft shoes, soft sole shoes, right? They set up like ghost industries and say they're under them, like these entertainment businesses, because now the truth has come out. They're hiring some foreigners and putting them up and play. I know, I work for some, so I know how it works. And they'll set them up to own Sony or Lionsgate or whatever the case is. But it's all funded through them. You see what I'm saying? Because they know that the truth is getting out. You know, this Redstone family, which owned Viacom. I don't know if they do anymore, but come on, Redstone, come on, man. We know you, Esau. We got it. We understand. Anyway, it fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came to lick the sores. So the minute we were oppressed and we was in hell, they used these people to fly from other countries across the water, right, and capitalize off the EBT, off our money, and really, again, towards the women in that hair. How the hell is a woman that's so-called Chinese named Angie sells you weaves? Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's in perms and all this hair products as they push beauty. And then the only women that walk around with them heavy-duty weaves, right? And all kind of chemicals in their head. Not that other nations don't put little tracks in their hair or whatever, but it fits their look. You would never know. It's like it's a clown show. Then they'll put all this makeup on, and these people will sell our women this makeup, which has been known to infiltrate fertility, right? But all in the name of beauty. When you look up the word makeup, it means to cover something that is used up, right? And then gave them the liberty. So if they could sleep around with who they want, they could just drop their husbands, get child support, get the hustle going. And then now, who wants them at that point? You done slept around so much, you done ruined yourself, right? So your spirit isn't even right. Anyway, so the dogs licked the sore. There's some other nations coming in having a hand in our destruction. And now those smoke shops, who owns that? Those weave shops, who owns that? So the men are running in to get the smoke, and the women are running in to buy the hair. Well, the women are getting the smoke too. Those corner store shops with all that garbage food, we can go for hours on that, man. With all the grease, with all that crystallized salt that cut up your arteries, with all the sugar that breaks down your immune system, tainted with poison in your head, your hair, the water, sodas. Come on, man. All y'all had a hand in that. You know, all you nations, you had a hand in that. And then our people are so broken that they see other heathens and nations as gods. I know I just talked to an older guy I've been seeing on and off through exercising, and every time he sees a foreign guy, like a Elamite or something, he's praising him. You know what I'm saying? And it shall come to pass that the beggar died and was carried in the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried, right? The transition. And in hell lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. So this is why Nate says, when he says Father Abraham, this is Jake, an Israelite. Well, who was the father of Esau? And then, who was the grandfather of Esau? Yeah, if you don't know, look it up. Genesis 25, right? So anyway, have mercy on me and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in the water and cool my tongue. There's a reason why I'm bringing up this, because through this EBT, this rich man has oppressed us, used our women, and gave them benefits, the WIC, and everything else that was supposed to help families, and then used the fact of misogyny, so to speak, and said a man is supposed to be able to do such and such. And then they fund a few men to show the example of how men are supposed to be. But then the other men that don't even have a chance just look like they're lost. And now they can't do what they're supposed to do. And of course, our women are sellouts. They're beguiled by Eve, right? As the scriptures say. I mean, beguiled by the serpent, Salakia. Eve was beguiled by the serpent, as the scriptures say. Let's get that real quick. Was it Eve beguiled? Eve beguiled. I don't know where it's going to show up. This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 3. Which is going into Genesis. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, right? Which goes to subtile. Right? Let's look up subtlety. Subtile. A test. Clever. Dexterous. Crafty. Of fluids. Not dense, thin. Crafty. Subtile. Let's go there. Penetrating, ingenious. Right? Sophisticated, intricate. Abstruse. Abstruse. I've heard that word before. Abstruse. Let's see what that says. Remote. It says hidden and concealed, secret. So you women, honestly, you didn't have a chance. You didn't, with the social media, right? With the hustle of the destruction of the family, and number one with the Lord, you didn't have a chance, so you didn't know what happened to you. And now you're going to start realizing what happened. But that attitude that this woman have, that ain't going to work either, right? At the end of the day, all these people will call on Jesus. And this is, again, the Christian churches, they're set up to get you to hug and bow and have faith in Jesus. But then what? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, they're not teaching you the truth. They're not telling you to have fear in the Lord. A part of having faith in Jesus, though, let me say Yahushua, is to fear the Lord. That's the key. And what his son sent to do. Anyway, have mercy on me and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in the water and cool my tongue. For I am tormented in this flame. Yeah, read the book of Obadiah. Right? Yeah, you're coming back of slavery. All this that you've done, our women, some of the Jake, are going to wake up and they're going to see what the hell you've done. And I think a lot of people know it now. It's like people are waking up for certain things from what we say. We are every week popping it, just bringing it out. And people seeing these videos and us out teaching. And it's, and Esau can't do nothing about it. Until the Lord tells Satan to tell Esau, okay, now it's time. Then it shall be known who his chosen is. Right? But Abraham said, son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receiveth thy good things. And likewise, Lazarus, evil things. Right? So now everything is switched. But now he is comforted and thou art tormented. Right? There we go. Let me go to the book of Obadiah real quick. Let's go to Obadiah. This just tells you what it is. It says, thou should not have entered into thy gate of my people in that day, talking about Esau, of their calamity. Yea, thou should have not had looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance and the day of their calamity. One of their substances was our women. You laid hands on them, man. You the one caused this feminism, right? The separation of the home, right? The ability us to be close to our Heavenly Father, number one. You did this. You know, ultimately the Lord put the Spirit on you to do it, but you have to pay for it, man. You know, you got people say, well, the Lord, if he did it, then why are we worried about it? Well, yeah, we're playing everything out on here, right? It's the Lord that's doing everything, but it still has to be played out here. And one of those things had to be played out, right, is his judgment. See, nobody, when we was being carried in chains and whips, you know, told us that, you know, at the end of the day, or when we would do things to them, when we had them in power, same thing, that it's the Lord, he did it, you know what I'm saying? So it's all right. But the white man thought it was all right because the Lord put the Spirit on him to say it was all right. And he used the Bible as a whipping stick to whip our ass. But nobody comforted us, man. So now we supposed to comfort the rich man? Hell no. Nah, he's got trouble. Revelation 18 says, double unto her according to their works. Right? Thou shouldest not have entered into thy gate of my people in that day of their calamity. Should have not have looked on their affliction in that day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen. Right? As thou hast done, it shall be done to thee. Thy reward shall return unto thy own head. For thou have drunk upon the holy mountain, by my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continuously. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall be swallowed down, and they shall be as though they had not been. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire. Right? Let me go up here. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Right? And that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're angry about. Really, Esau is angry. He knows that he doesn't have the blessing, so he has to turn to Satan and hope Satan delivers him. They admitted that too, by the way. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. Wait a minute, I thought Esau could repent. So this means the Lord is a lie. Oh, according to the Christians, Jesus is God, and then he came down and changed what God said. Weird stuff, man. The Lord has spoken it. Yeah, weird stuff. Okay? Let's go here. It says here, for there shall be, this is 2 Ezra 15, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, their princes, and the course of their actions will stand in their hand. Dropping to 19, and man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So this woman, in closing, this woman still feels the American dream that the government is going to care if you riot and tear up shit. The government don't care. Their agenda is their agenda. And if they cause a siege, right, this is like a form of a siege. Shutting down the food, right, and you kill one another and destroy one another, how is that going to affect them? See, this woman feels like if you rise up and ride and vote, the government doesn't want chaos. But then in the same video, she said they want chaos so they can bring in some new agenda. So you ain't got a chance. Number one, all these women, they should be shutting up, man. You know? And really, this is going to usher in Isaiah 4:1 as well, partially. But I mean, eventually that's going to happen. See, what I understand going back in time, you know, some years back, women were happier needing their men. They were happier. Show me a happier woman now. I can't show you one. I'm sure there's some. But they say it's the God in them, right? And they got their jobs and their careers. And no man would be able to satisfy them because even if the man made more money than them, they feel they could sustain themselves. And how we operate, we have to fear the Lord. When we stop fearing the Lord as men, right, we become spoiled. right? And we're your lords as men, as husbands, as masters, because the word husband means master. When you stop fearing us, you become spoiled. And now you see the example of what happened. And now we see what happened to us. The same thing we did to the Lord has used the example to show us. Now we know how the Lord feels. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.